comments that some would deem controversial. She's a teammate of Caitlin Clark. She plays on the Indiana Fever. And she was the one that got into it with a player a few weeks ago where she just pointed in her direction and kept pointing in her direction. That's Sophie Cunningham.
I need to know exactly what you guys think about this insane end-level drama. Did Sophie Cunningham just completely destroy the Connecticut Sun season?
Any form going forward? You know, I don't know. I'm not a very political person, but I do have beliefs. I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports.
The WNBA is absolutely shaking right now. What just happened between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun wasn't just a basketball game. It was an absolute massacre that ended with the most satisfying explosive dose of instant karma in the history of the league. Brittany Gurrier, who just signed a massive one-year deal with the Connecticut Sun in 2026, tried to use her massive size to physically intimidate and bully Caitlin Clark on the hardwood. She thought she could rattle the young superstar. Music. She thought she could break the Fever, but Gurrier made one fatal, catastrophic mistake. She forgot about the Fever's ultimate enforcer, Sophie Cunningham. When Gurrier tried to go after Clark, Cunningham didn't just step in. She went absolutely nuclear. We are talking about a jaw-dropping locker room confrontation, a brutal post-game camera exposure, and an on-court humiliation that completely destroyed the Connecticut Sun. If you thought the tension in the WNBA was bad before, you haven't seen anything yet.
From anybody with half a brain cell today. No doubt about it. Now, right here, double technicals for Sanaya Rivers and Caitlin Clark, who exchanged words after a Connecticut foul. That's 7 technicals for Caitlin Clark. One more, and she will be suspended. I hope they rescind this one because I thought it was complete bullshit. You see that score, 123-88. The Indiana Fever set a record for points in the first half of a game with 70 tonight. Wow. Yeah, and Caitlin Clark started this game fast.
Grab a seat because the old guard just got brutally exposed, and Sophie Cunningham just proved why absolutely nobody touches Caitlin Clark. To understand the sheer magnitude of this tabahi, we have to look at the boiling point on the court. The Fever were locked in an intense battle with the Connecticut Sun. Caitlin Clark was doing what she does best, absolutely dominating the floor and draining threes from the logo. But the Sun were getting desperate. The frustration boiled over late in the third quarter when Brittany Gurrier, playing in her new Connecticut uniform, committed a blatant aggressive offensive foul on Clark.
Connecticut Sun, 27 points, 11 assists in just 27 minutes. Indiana Fever beat the absolute dog crap, beat the brakes off the Connecticut Sun, 123-88. 70 points in the first half. This is what the Indiana Fever offense looks like when Stephanie White gets the hell out of Caitlin Clark's way. We got to get into it and break this game down. Caitlin Clark breaking records as always. Only the GOAT can do this. Only the GOAT can do this. Take a look at this here, courtesy of ESPN Insights. Another historic night for Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark became the first player in WNBA history to record.
Griner was furious, and instead of taking responsibility, she tried to get physical. Tensions flared, words were exchanged, and Gurrier aggressively stepped into Clark's space, trying to tower over her and completely shatter her focus. The referees, in a highly controversial and completely baffling move, hit Caitlin Clark with a double technical foul. Suddenly, the momentum shifted. The Connecticut Sun bench was screaming, thinking they had finally broken Clark's spirit. Gurrier was smirking, thinking her vintage intimidation tactics had worked against the new face of the league. But then the Indiana Fever coach made a substitution that changed the entire trajectory of the season. Sophie Cunningham, who was acquired by the Fever in a trade ahead of the 2025 season and secured a new contract for this 2026 run, marched off the bench. And buddy, she wasn't just coming in to play standard defense. She was coming in to send a brutal message. Right after the foul call, the ball was inbound and Cunningham immediately locked eyes with Gurrier. From that exact second, Cunningham decided to end the Connecticut Sun's hopes right then and there. Talk about instant karma. Cunningham came down the court, caught a perfectly placed pass from Clark, and coldly drained a massive three-pointer right in Gurrier's face. The arena erupted into absolute chaos, but she wasn't done humiliating the Suns' defense. On the very next possession, Cunningham drove hard to the paint, absorbed contact from Gurrier, and finished a contested layout for an explosive and one play in.
Nice little drive. And hits the little floater. That's good stuff. This is my boy Venom. Welcome back, Venom. Venom Reacts. Go subscribe. He's back after his auto accident. And he was away for some days. He is straight up back. And he's going to be calling this on this Ty Harris to CC situation.
Oh my gosh, Caitlin Clark is cooking. Come here, Sanaya. Step back. Oh my gosh.
Give that guy a map.
Curling off the screen. Come here. Curry 3.
Bang. C22. What's up, Venom? Good to see you back, man. No doubt about it. His channel is growing. Talked to Venom tonight before the game. Good stuff. Good stuff. Caitlin again. Way out. Bam. Knocks it down from way outside. Good stuff. Absolutely good stuff. Caitlin Clark, let's see it. This is going to be an and one. She going to drive. Pull up another little floater. And the and one. That was
Cunningham essentially went on a personal game-ending run all by herself. She looked right at Gurrier, pointed directly at the Suns bench and completely silenced them. The Fever's infectious energy took completely over, leaving the Sun paralyzed. Indiana walked away with a dominant blowout victory, leaving Brittany Gurrier staring at the scoreboard in pure disbelief. But the real drama, the absolute tabahi, was just getting started off the court. The on-court humiliation was bad enough, but what Cunningham did after the final buzzer is what has the entire WNBA front office in a total panic. Cunningham didn't hold back. She didn't retreat to the locker room quietly. According to explosive insider leaks and massive viral videos, Cunningham stood directly in front of the media cameras and, music, went completely nuclear on the veteran center. She didn't use typical heavily scripted PR answers.
Really important to protect.
Do you think, I guess along the line like that, it goes against perhaps, some people might say, hey, for the trans community, this could be something that could come back on us or be targeted against us. Like, how do you, I guess, view that sort of critique?
Like I said, I extend love, and I don't dislike anyone. Like, I think there's room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. And I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. And so I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone.
Sophie, what about Connecticut tonight? Tell us a little bit about the game. What are you thinking about Keys or guard Brittany? You know her so well.
Yeah, I think it has been so fun. I played with BG for 6 years, and so I know her like the back of my hand. And as of late, she's been playing really good. She's been playing like OG Brittany, and so we have our hands full down in the paint. I really think actually Connecticut is playing really good as a whole. I think everyone's playing their role really well from top to bottom. They don't go out there and do anything outside of what they do, and that makes it difficult. And so, yeah, you could look at standings and where they're at in the league, but when you do that in this league, you're going to get beat by 50. And so we have one more game before break, and we cannot take this game lightly at all. And so we have to come out with following our scout.
She actively called out the physical targeting, making it crystal clear that the old guard's attempts to bully Caitlin Clark will result in them getting completely dismantled on national television. She essentially told the entire league, if you try to attack our point guard, I will personally step on the court and embarrass your entire franchise. The fans are absolutely losing their minds over this. The Fever have proven that they are untouchable, and veterans who rely on intimidation are realizing their tactics are completely useless against the new era of basketball. The Connecticut Sun tried to play dirty, and they got absolutely burned by the ultimate instant karma. Brittany Gurrier tried to test the Fever, and Sophie Cunningham just cemented herself as the ultimate enforcer in the WNBA.
Comments that some would deem controversial. She's a teammate of Caitlin Clark. She plays on the Indiana Fever. And she was the one that got into it with a player a few weeks ago where she just pointed in her direction and kept pointing in her direction. That's Sophie Cunningham. Well, anyway, she made some comments that were deemed relatively controversial about a week or so ago. I don't know when it was. And she said she wasn't backing down from her comments. And it was regarding trans athletes in women's sports. Matter of fact, she went so far as to say she doesn't think her comments were controversial at all. She shared her opinion on a polarizing topic in an interview with ESPN this week where she claimed she felt a duty to, quote, protect young girls in a locker room or young girls in sport who shouldn't have to go against biological men. That's what she talked about. She was asked to expand on the quote when meeting with the media on Wednesday, and she made it clear that's how she feels. Quote, I said what I said, Cunningham told reporters. Well, rather than me just saying that, let's hear from Sophie Cunningham herself. Listen to what she had to say.
Talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that? I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
I stand with Sophie Cunningham. I stand with Riley Gaines. I stand with them both. I have 2 daughters. They don't participate in sports, but if they did, that would be my position. And I think it's important to emphasize what Sophie Cunningham said a bit further. She said, I think I'll always believe that. I think it's really important to protect children and that little girls who are also involved in that category. So I stand on what I said, and I will always believe that. She claims she's not a political person, but she does have morals and beliefs, and she will always stay true to them. When asked if her stance could negatively impact the trans community, Cunningham said she's not speaking out of hate. She doesn't dislike anyone. She says, quote, I think there is room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone. I can't applaud her enough. This notion that you're hating on the trans community because you are not a proponent of them participating in female sports is utterly ridiculous. Sophie Cunningham said every word right on the money. There's no hate involved. There's only love we're talking about. But what happened to loving girls who are born biologically as girls? What about their rights? What about fairness associated to...
I need to know exactly what you guys think about this insane end-level drama. Did Sophie Cunningham just completely destroy the Connecticut Sun season? Make sure you drop your raw, unfiltered opinions in the comments below. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another explosive WNBA breakdown. Why? This script is fully locked and loaded. Send this straight to your cloud workflow and watch the views roll in.